Hello, this is I Seen You Before, playing Dominions 4, and welcome for the part 2 of the Communion tutorial. And we're going to keep showing some expansion with Marverni. And again, if you want to head straight to the Communion, please skip straight to part 3 of the video. Thank you. What I wanted to do here was bring an additional commander with me, so he'll be able to build another fortress later, but he died in the process, so yeah. The most important part here is that I recruited the Stargazer, and the Stargazer, if you noticed, I built a laboratory there before the fort was done, and by doing this I saved one turn to be able to recruit a mage. It might seem pointless right now, but for research point you should keep in mind that for every turn that you research a mage, you keep accumulating the research point for it. So in a way of saying, every turn you will save research points. And the magic scale and pretenders that boost your research points, they all have an exponential value to it. But I'm not so good on theory crafting, math crafting, sitting behind a computer, trying 100 games, telling you which will be the fastest research path. I don't really know this. What I know is you should always take care of your research. You should never ignore it. Even if you're going for a bless, you should plan for a way to be able to catch up for research later if you have the possibility of forging items such as lightless lanterns, research owl quills, I think the next one is skull mentors. Then you should make them, because the research that they'll give to your mage is permanent. It's like recruiting another mage in one turn but using your magic gems. And the best is if the unit dies, you can always give it to another mage. And this thing gets even more efficient if you have a dwarven hammer, which you need a minimum of 3 earth to craft. The dwarven hammer will reduce anything you craft by 2 gems, meaning if you are crafting an item that costs you 5 air gems for the owl quill, for example, you'll end up paying only 3 air gems if the commander has the hammer when he's crafting it. Now, you just gotta say, what? I just saved 2 air gems, but that's different. Let's say you only had 1 air gem per turn because you haven't researched your sites yet. Then you just saved 2 turns in a way of saying thanks to the hammer. And you won't notice it immediately, but as the game carries on, you'll notice that all those little efficient things you do will reward you later on in the game. Keep in mind that I'm playing against the AI right now, so those strategies may not actually work as well in a multiplayer setting because you need to account for you getting rushed and whatsoever. But if you want to try this out for single player and just randomly assign communion, see what you can do with them, feel free to do exactly the same thing. As you can see right now, the god is pretty fine by expanding on his own thanks to the buffs he has from alteration. You already have 2 fortresses up, so you'll be able to make an army in no time. Expanding with random commanders, expanding with the god when I need to go for a throne. If I put him, it's kind of done in a way of saying that, the AI will not be able to catch up to the spells that you cast later on. The AI of this game is really good if you give them a nation such as Asphodel or Middle Age ammo. The AI is really good at microing its free spawn and then going for expansions. But the one thing I noticed with the AI is no matter how hard you put the difficulty, they'll just get more resources to hire a mass of useless units against you. And once you start using magic, you'll notice that the AI doesn't really counter to whatever magics you use, and the AI just keeps massing unit and sending them to you to die. Well, before you learn using magic in Dominions, you'll have a hard time because the early age and middle age is all about mass troop production and attrition between troops. But as you enter middle age into late age, middle game into late game, the research is the one that overtakes everything, because you get options such as creating thugs, which are commanders that can take on army by themselves, super commanders, which are commanders that are even stronger and can take on a respectable army, and then you'll find battlefield-wide spells that you can cast and can wipe an army in humans in nothing. Oh, and one other thing which I forgot to mention is that it's important to site search your provinces for magic sites in order to get magical income. When you have the opportunity, which is around the end of year 1, you should start sending your mages into your provinces to search for them. And depending on their magic paths, they may find magical sites in respect to their magic paths. For example, if you send a druid who has 2 water, 2 earth and 2 astral into a province, he will then do a search of level 2 water, level 2 astral and level 2 earth. And if that province had any of those magic sites inside, they will be revealed to you. And after you're done, you just move your mage to another province and repeat it until you site search most of your provinces. You do that so you can prepare for mid to late game, where you can see what magical gems you have and hopefully adapt a good plan to them. It should also be noted that on Thrones, there's a higher chance of finding a magical site. In Wastelands, there's a higher chance of finding an astral, air, and I think earth site as well. In mountains, increased chance to find an earth site. In forest, increased chance to find a nature site. And in all coastal provinces, an increased chance to find water sites. It should also be noted that if a magic site requires a minimum of 3 in a path to search for it, and you send in a level 2, for example, this magic site needed an Earth 3 to be able to be found, and you have an Earth 2 mage in the province who's site searching. By logic, he will not find it, because he only has level 2 in Earth. This is where other spells such as remote site searching spells such as Gnome Lore, Haruspex, Uspex, and Augury, Dark Knowledge, Arcane Probing, they all do a level 9 search in their respected paths. For example, if you cast Arcane Probing on a province, next turn that province will have as if a level 9 astral magic mage went in and searched there, but you can do that from your laboratory. Usually you use remote site searching spells to go for sites that you don't want to lose time sending a mage there. And usually you want to site search with your mages first, because you need the gems to be able to use the remote site searching spells. See, this is an example of the AI not being able to perform with a nation. With early age Yomi, for example, the AI got randomly selected as early age Yomi, by the way. You can see that the AI has a really hard time to expand. Whereas if it was a human player, the human player would have probably went for Turmoil and Fortune and then expand. Of course, I'm not an expert in early age Yomi, but I know that the way the AI is expanding is really bad. And that's, if I remember correctly, an impossible AI. That's because the AI doesn't really know how to set formations sometimes, or he doesn't know how to use blessers, or even the skills. But I do know that it slowly, as patches come, the AI is getting corrected little by little. But with a game such as Dominion's 4 and how big it is, I don't think that the AI will ever be able to catch up to a human player, because I keep trying to explain this to a lot of my friends, and hopefully if you viewers want to hear me ramble a bit about Dominion's 4, I'm happy you guys can hear about it, is that no matter how much you play a single player, what you will get good at is how to poon the AI, right? Like, you get good at pooning the AI. After a while you see, oh, the AI is so dumb, all I need to do is just hold this button, increase my province defense to 9 million, and the AI will never be able to take it. Well, yeah, most things work against the AI. And then sometimes you go through magic libraries, you find spells such as Mind Hunt, Seeking Arrow, and you're like, oh, that's so useless. Why would I spend 5 gems to cast a Seeking Arrow and the guy might not even die? Well, that's exactly what I thought as well before my first multiplayer game as early age Elm. So, the story goes, I'm going to Hugh that guy, made a big 300 units stuck with early age troops, went stealthy, was quietly going into the provinces, heading towards straight the guy's capital, and yeah, the guy found out, spammed a lot of seeking arrows, and as a result, all my commanders were dead, and my army was left in that province with no one to lead them. And yeah, I lost. I was going to lose anyway. It was my first multiplayer game, but that's where I learned the utility of seeking arrows. If you have 50 gems and you spam it on one province where you know they have a lot of commanders, human commanders, then there's a great chance that you'll end up killing all the commanders and the army will now be immobile because there's no more commanders to lead them. So that's why in the end, when you have dominions, you should either A, come to our Blitz channel on Steam, find me and let's play together, or you can convince your other friends to buy dominions and force them to play with you so that in the end you'll still win and feel a bit better and you'll see what they can do. Or just join up on Deshura, post there for a game, join games, host games, and just give it a try. It couldn't hurt. It will just, yeah, it's gonna hurt actually. You'll probably get pooned, but it's good. You learn things, you copy on people, you found certain strategies that work, you discover strategies that you never knew before. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting because like I said again, the AI will never be able to equal a human player. Well, if you want a challenge and if you want to practice how to counter the undead, for example, go ahead and put the AI on middle-age AMO maximum difficulty. And yeah, you will see a massive undead behemoth coming straight for you. And you can practice to counter them. But aside from all of the free spawns nations such as Asphodel, AMO and Lemuria, the AI doesn't do such a great job. But I've heard people saying that if you manually expand for the AI for the first year using a god for him, whatever bless you want to craft for that nation, and then switch to AI, I heard that the AI doesn't do such a bad job. But of course the problem is it takes a long time to play 4 of the nations if you want to make sure they expand correctly. By doing so you kind of break the fog of war because you'll be playing as them and you know where they are on the map. And yeah, it's kind of impractical. I mean, I like having a good time against the AI, but just the part where I need to set up for them, like people said, like if you set up for the AI and give them the right god or the right bless and expand for them and then switch to AI, the AI will do an okay job. But kind of takes a while. Sometimes you just want to play one nation and you want to see things and you have to expand with the other one and pick the right research spells for them, and it can get lengthy. So that's why I tell you, if you one day get bored of single player and of trampling the AI all the time, go ahead, try a multiplayer game. You'll find lots of stuff that you never found before. You will see what people mean when they say you will get rushed. Well, yeah. Well, you can pretty much already see that through this game the AI is kind of done in a way of saying, but all I need to do is attack Yomi, kill him, because that's the easiest, or go for Thrones, or go for Kalisa. And see, that's kind of what makes the AI bad for you to try out multiplayer stuff, is because with that army you trample over them. You won't really know if that army is actually effective to use in a multiplayer game, right? But until you get to a point where you find yourself killing the AI all the time, it's recommended that you keep trying out a bit more, because the game is really big. My best advice would be just pick a nation that you like and get used to it. Just play game, play long game actually, with easy research if you want to. Check out all the magic spells that you find interesting. Check out the items you can forge. Check out the summons, but you can lose a lot of time, by the way. You can't forget that some nations have summons only to them, and it can, like, I've seen myself play this game, one game, for more than 6 hours, just randomly summoning stuff and slapping magic items onto them. And I believe that it's not such a waste of time when it comes to learning that game, because the longer your game, the more chance that you have an overload of magical gems, and then you can just try to go ahead and cast whatever spell you found interesting. And even though you just learned about the spell, used it in a battle, it will come in handy, because you won't be sitting in front of a magic library checking out every single school by every single school to find which spell you wanted to use. And once you notice that certain spells can be easily accessed by your favorite nation, you already know which spells to go for. For example, me, I know that I play early age Marverni every once in a while. So what's their problem? Their problem is their troops are not too great. Their magic is okay, but they have access to a really cheap researcher, which is the Stargazer. And the Elder Druid is not bad at all when it comes to Communion. So I decided to go for Communion and Evocation to deal the damage, and hopefully use my army as a wall, just like with late age Stis. And to be honest, as the game continues, you eventually want to replace your army by summons, because summons, they don't cost any money to recruit. They cost you magical gems, yes, but most of the time they'll be upkeep free, and they'll be just stronger. For example, you may be recruiting 5 Marverni bar-chested warriors, but by summoning 5 Vine Ogres in one turn for only 3 magic gems, that's already way better. You get 5 Vine Ogres of magic gems anywhere where you have a lab, and they're way stronger, simply way stronger than the bare-chested warrior, and they don't cost you any upkeep. So that's worth it. But then you got certain situations such as the trolls. You have to be careful when you summon the troll, because they have really high upkeep and they're gonna take a chunk of your income out. But then people have strategies such as they'll summon a troll king, they'll research up to evocation level 6 or 7, I forgot, for Earthquake. Give the Troll King items to get him to Earth 5 to be able to cast Earthquake. And there you go. Just because the troll regenerates, has higher HP than a human warrior, you can send him alone in against an army with some Earth gem spamming Earthquake. And I bet you that the Troll King will barely even be hurt, whereas the whole enemy army, of course, given the fact that the Troll King has the time to cast his Earthquakes, the whole of the army will be dead. Because just think of this, you might have 1000 units who have 16 HP, and 1 Troll King with 45 HP, right? With 1 cast of Earthquake, everyone there is at half HP getting the afflictions. With 2nd cast, probably dead. Whereas the Troll King is just regenerating whatever damage he would have gotten from the Earthquake. That's one example. of how you can use a Troll King, what's in Conjuration, to cast an evocation spell and link it together to become a battlefield threat. So to end this communion tutorial, I was regrouping all my forces, using those stargazers as slaves, using whatever druids that were here as masters, and I was trying to head up for that big Yomi stack, so I'll be able to spam Gifts of Heaven on them. Taximagulus. And that's it for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like, leave a feedback if you can, and see you soon. And don't forget to keep your annotations on, because I'll put the link down there as soon as I'm done uploading all 3 videos.